As Yisroel Verschleiser, a special sense of glory, of Tiferes. What's the yardstick to measure the greatness of a person? The Gemara Dorm tells us that Rava was Meshabeach to Rav Nachman about the greatness of a young man that he met, Reb Schoire. The Adam Godel. Reb Schoire is an Adam Godel. So Rav Nachman, who was the Godel Ador, said to Rava, the next time he comes, please have him come to meet me. I want to speak to him. I want to see this person. Schoire comes to Rava, and Rava tells him, you have an appointment with Rav Nachman. He goes, and on the way, he says to himself, let me take advantage of this opportunity. I have a neder that I have to be matir. I'm going to the Godel Ador, he'll be matir my neder. He goes in, and he asks Rav Nachman, could he perhaps do this for him? And Rav Nachman goes through the procedure. We all know that when a person makes a neder, so you have to afterwards determine whether they had all the possibilities in mind. So he asked him, I'll die to the daughter. Did you have that in mind when you made the neder? Because you want to fill a Pesach, a way to remove the neder? Yes. I died to the daughter. Did you have that in mind? Yes. I died to the daughter. And he went through it several times until Ikbid, Rav Nachman, got angry at Reb Schoire. And he says, how is it possible? A mensch makes a neder, knowing we're all human, and it has every possibility, so he can't get out of the neder. And he sends him out. And Reb Schoire comes outside. Then he has a gewaldige Einfall. An extraordinary thought occurs to him. The Mishnah in Anshei says, what's the Del Tov Shmuel Adam? Koshi Tveres Loi, Tveres Loi Min Adam. What path should a person choose? Something which is beautiful for him, and something which is also acceptable to everyone else. Would I have ever made a neder knowing that Rav Nachman would be maspid about the neder I made? No, I would never have made such a neder. Oh, I have a Pesach. I can now go back and have Rav Nachman matter it because I didn't have that in mind. That Rav Nachman, even if Rav Nachman will be maspid on making the neder. No. That's what the Gemara says. Ad kan the Gemara. One can think, if the Gemara wants to tell us, there's a category called Godol. Adam Godolhu. There's a category. So tell us something about that person. So we should be able to know for ourselves, what does it mean to be a great person? And the Gemara just tells us a story, an incident. He went in, and he wanted mataneta, and he found an eitzah, it's a reisgedreht. I would like to think that in itself is the greatest indication of godless. Why? Because who would ever dream, if you want to be mata neder, to take a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos? Who would ever cholam you take a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos? That should be the way to be mata neder. Only a person who lives Pirkei Avos did. If his Shulchan Aruch is Pirkei Avos, then it's the same Shulchan Aruch, the Dalech Chelke Shulchan Aruch, as any other halacha chabura, because he lives by that standard. So the Gemara is telling us that this Reb Schoire was capable of being able to integrate Pirkei Avos into his life in such a way that he could take a Mishnah Pirkei Avos and be matan neder with the Mishnah Pirkei Avos, and that's the indication of godless. The level by what a person demands of himself and lives by. Was is sein Shulchan Aruch? Rabbi Yisroel Verschleiser was a person who his Shulchan Aruch was Pirkei Avos. He lived by the standards of Pirkei Avos. Not something that we say Shabbos afternoon or Zog Tzachlayich, and it's a nice, an interesting machshava of the Vos, and we can feel his own turn of them. But to demand of himself that he should be able to be held accountable for state in Pirkei Avos. That's the uptouch of the picture. That's painting the picture on the canvas of the picture of what Rabbi Yisroel Zatzal represented. It introduces his Midas Toivis and his Avodas Hashem. Everything is included in that picture. I'd like to add another thought. If in fact, when he went, he had this great inspiration to use Pirkei Avos to Matan and Eder, why didn't he say it inside when he was together with Rav Nachman? Rav Nachman sends him out of the house. He's maspid. He goes outside. Oh, and he has a gewaldige machshava. Why didn't he have it before? I'd like to think that perhaps Reb Schoira is in the presence of the Gadol Hador, Reb Nachman. In the presence of the Gadol Hador, his mind does not function. He's a sponge that's taking it all in. He goes outside, no longer in the presence of the Gadol Hador. That most he can think on his own and come up with a machshava thought. There are those people who, in terms of how they related to greatness around them, were mevatel their presence. Their presence didn't exist. In the presence of his rebellion, Rabbi Yisroel Verschleiser was a person who was zoicher to be able to be nurtured at the hands of many great Talmidei Chachamim. And each one of them played an enormous role in creating the unique person that he was. And therefore, he took it in. At this Heigesapt in sich, it became part and parcel of who he was. There's an Anshei HaKodesh, a very interesting Anshei HaKodesh. On Hashem geri avdecha. Ani avdecha ben amasecha. We say it all the time when we say hello. On Hashem geri avdecha. Ani avdecha ben amasecha. Why do you have to repeat it twice? Let's select the Anshei HaKodesh. Why repeat it twice? And the Anshei HaKodesh says the following beautiful thought. Ois Sekushim. The Anshei HaKodesh says, An Hashem Yavdecha, I am your servant, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And every Eved, when he has the opportunity, the doors open, will outlife it. He wants to run away. He wants to get away from where he is in captivity. Don't worry, you can open up the chains. I'm not running anywhere. I am the Eved, the son of a mother who is a servant. It's a Messiah by me, the service. It's who I am, not what I do. It's who I am. It's Od Hashem K'nei Avdecha. Don't worry, I'm not running away. Comes out the Heilige Anshei HaKodesh. Rabbi Yisroel Verschleiser was a person who recognized that he was part of a very important link, a strong Messiah that's mechayev him, and to live responsibly and to assume responsibilities. That's his Metzias. A chelik of an ova and a hemsher. Rabbi Yaakov, his father, was from the Grois Askonim in Borough Park, at a time where there were no Moses at all. Borough Park was not what it is now, very, very far from what it is now. And Rabbi Yaakov and the family, and his parents, who were neighbors of the Shiva next door neighbors. And a family should be able to assume responsibilities in a community and carry it out with Mesiras Nefesh and have the great schus and insight and determination to take as a choshev eidim soll sein gesund und stark, Pilche soll sein gesund. At that time, where everybody idolized professionals, to understand that the goal is to be able to have an Torah Zolvenis Rachev, and that it should be through my children and my efforts that Torah is obliged the kiyum by Klal Yisrael. That's evidenced by this special godless sticky young man that Rabbi Yaakov took as an Eidim. Unusual among his friends, I have to say. Unusual among his friends.